Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
No topic too absurd, no statement too asinine, no question too interesting. That's right, kiddies. It's a patented Nerdities interview show. This time with two, that's right, count them if you can count that high, two guests. We are welcoming to the Nerdosphere. That's not going to work, is it? That's not going to catch on.
I like it.
We're welcoming to our show Dalton, Shannon, and Wells Thompson, writers extraordinaire.
Indeed.
Ooh, extraordinaire. I'll put that on the resume now.
Yes, everyone should feel extraordinary at least once in their life.
I want to feel extraordinaire.
Yes. Besides our guests, there's these other schmucks that are with me, Mike. We also have
Justin.
as well as...
Hi.
There we
There
go.
he is.
There we go. We also have
Did it
a...
come out?
Yeah, eventually.
Vinny.
And last up, producing
Joe.
for us...
You let him finish, Joe.
Yo, Joe, I have to address Joe on the other show we do tonight because he's a little feisty fucking today.
You know, he's been hanging out with me a little bit. We've been having little sidebars. I think I've been rubbing off on him in all the good ways.
Stop.
Well, you two...
I'm Wells.
What's going on with you two isn't important. It's what's going on with those two that's important. They are the writers of the very fun comic book Mechaton. Mechaton or Mechaton?
Mechaton.
Oh, in unison.
Yeah.
We've had some practice.
Are you in the same room?
No, actually, no. We have done that in the past, but yeah, no. Currently, Dalton lives in Arkansas and I live in Chicago, and we are forever at war.
Oh,
Because Chicago's
Chicago.
basically a state, yeah.
Oh, I already
There's a great
I have a fucking
Chicago,
question.
Arkansas war going on.
Yeah. No one respects you if you say I'm from Illinois.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
It's not wrong.
That's the Iowa way is never going to catch on.
I was born in Michigan.
Michigan's respectable.
There you go. Detroit.
Wisconsin's good too.
Okay, fellas. Let the folks know, because the group pretty much already knows what the story is about, but let the folks know what Mechaton is all about.
Yeah, Mechaton is a science fiction, all-ages comedy about a brother and sister that stumble across an alien glove that turns anything they punch into a mech, whether that's a hot dog cart or a house. And right around the same time, giant mutant insects start destroying the neighborhood, and they put two and two together and realize they have to be the ones to save the day. It's very like Pacific Rim with Scott Pilgrim vibes, and it's a ton of fun.
Did you want to tag on that, Dalton? Or
No.
is he gonna be back?
I also enjoy it.
I like the pizza mech.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's-
yeah. That's something cheesy. Yeah.
We figured that there was enough room in the book for a good variety. There's like your kind of battle mechs that are really tough and intimidating looking, and there's just enough room to add in a joke mech or two. And the pizza mech is just the right balance of ridiculous and fun.
It's very rare that a concept that's not horror can kind of turn my stomach a little bit. Glow-in-the-dark pizza. Okay?
Yeah.
It turned. There was a shift when I thought of like how that cheese you described for a second, the cheese stretching, and I wouldn't think whatever they'd have to do to pizza to make it glow in the dark, stretching wouldn't be an option anymore.
I'll admit, I created glow-in-the-dark pizza because I secretly want to eat glow-in-the-dark pizza, but it is terrible for you. Don't eat that stuff.
Pizza Hut, hit us up. We will spell out our ideas.
Just sounds
Can
worse
you
than
make that
stuff.
happen?
There might be
Mechaton glow in the
there
dark.
might be a way.
It only makes you a little sick.
Oh.
That is oddly that is like a plot point in the book though. Is the pizza making people sick? So fair enough.
Yeah. As I was reading that, I was like, if they don't come back to this being a fucking thing, that's gonna make people sick, I'm gonna be really, really disappointed. But you delivered, huh?
Yes.
Pizza delivered.
Like all pizza, yes, correct. Just like Derek, we will deliver. We might deliver late, but we will deliver.
So where I'm at now in the story, you have 4 versions of the mech. Do you have just a list of insane things you want to turn into mechs, or is it like issue by issue? You're like, I think we need a swan boat, maybe, and you could take that one.
We will.
I'm going to take that one. Yes.
No, I think we have our like highlight the big ones that we know we want to see, and then as we go issue by issue, I try and keep it as loose as possible. I don't like we have a skeleton, we plan ahead, we know kind of where the story is headed, but really fun things can crop up just in the interactions that you don't expect, and you can get weird opportunities. So like the workbench table that turns into a flamethrower, that was a completely on-the-spot decision. That was just like, this would be a lot of fun to do right now. And sort of similar with the pizza mech is just like that was just born of, this would be a really nutty idea to throw in there. So we like to have that kind of spontaneity in the comic where it really feels like anything could happen.
Yeah, there's like 6 mechs I think that we like have to hit, but everything else, like, that's not enough to fill like 12 issues of content. So it's very much like Derek. We are kind of in the moment. What's around? Let's punch it. Let's see what it makes. And then we kind of have to, seat of our pants, figure out how that mech is actually going to be useful in a fight, or not very useful in a fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to kind of tailor the fight around it once you pick them sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It's
it's
you're not going to have the same fights for every mech, especially if it ends up being smaller than you want it to be, or if all it has is like a ketchup cannon. So you kind of have to like, okay, how do we make this work? And we have to think on our feet and make it work. And if it doesn't work, then that means that the Derek isn't like working, and so we can make that a part of the plot. Like, this mech was not built for this, and so that becomes a part of the plot.
Yeah, the sort of the weaponry, like it's the core idea of what if we made a mech out of hot dog cart, and then okay, well, what weapons would that mech have? Well, some kind of like condiment cannon, an umbrella shield, like I think the brat busters or something like that is something that we considered. Like there were all these little, I wanted to make a joke about like stagnant cart water, but we couldn't fit in there. Like
it's on the trade.
Sort of try and figure out like what the logical weaponry of that mech would be, and we have a little bit of fun with that in the 4th issue, I think. It's about punching whatever's convenient, and there's a police car around, so they punch it, and they're like, what's in here? It's like a donut duster or some kind of siren, or it's like, there's a gun. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
That's the one thing I picked up early on, all the potential for destruction from the different things, and then the uselessness from others. Right next?
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you, do you have any plans for any more food-related mechs, like a mac and cheese mech or something?
I'm not going to rule it out.
Nothing is off the table, but we do tend to get more inanimate objects.
We tell you in the book, the first line is rule number 1: nothing is off the table.
Yeah, but then it gets turned into rule number 4. So how important of a rule is it?
Exactly.
Important enough to be reiterated.
You are asking the right questions. How does the glove work? Who cares?
Because it does.
It just does. Oh god. No, this book is an insane amount of fun to write and to create and to see come to life, and yeah, I love having these conversations like at conventions and with fans, because it's always just so much fun.
How long have you been working on the books?
What was it? First Kickstarter was 21, right?
20? Yeah, I think it was early 21.
21, yeah. We've been working on the book for a while. I mean, the germ of the idea is like over a decade old, but this particular iteration launched on Kickstarter in 2021, and we've been able to pump out 5 issues since then, and got quite a few more in the can to keep publishing. Yeah.
Am I going to cut anybody off?
No, not at all.
I was going to say something, but you look like you're about to.
You can go. I've been monopolizing.
Do you guys have it completely planned out? Like, do you know how you want it to end?
Yes.
You know, don't spoil the ending. But I always like to know because it's fun, right?
Yeah,
but a lot of things out there.
I think we talked about like kind of when the first idea was first germinated, like you said, like when we were first sort of coming up with the idea. We asked, Dalton was like, "What is the logical endpoint of this?" And he was like, "Oh, it would be X." And as soon as I heard that, I was like, "We're making this. This is so good."
We have like all the broad arcs kind of laid out, and we know where we want the book to end, but we don't have everything like beat by beat plotted out. We have a rough structure in mind so that we can kind of keep it loose, keep it fast, and kind of zig and zag when we need to. But no, we know where we're going. We just may take a few detours before we get there.
We're not rushing to the finish line anytime soon. Just letting it happen.
Letting it unfold as naturally as it can. Mm-hmm. There's also there's this version of the story that we've been really excited about. We've been planning for a long time, which is sort of very, if you've read through it, it's not as like Saturday morning cartoon episodic as you would expect it to be. But there is also that sort of episodic nature to it, where we could do like a mech of the week, a monster of the week kind of deal. So I think even after the story that we have in mind ends, there's still a springboard into, if we want to keep, if it's popular, people like it and want more, and we want to keep it going, there's definitely potential for that.
Kyle's audio sucks, so he's got some questions, and I'm going to ask them for him. He wants to know, is this your first team up?
No.
Officially, yes, I would think.
No.
Well, no, Dread came out in 2020. That's right, but
we did Dread before we did this. So we made a horror anthology called Descent into Dread that was published through Caliber Comics, and then before that we were working on a script for a graphic novel together, and that was our first collaboration. So we've been working together for a number of years now. And this was like kind of our third big project that we started.
Has it been 10 years yet? I swear to God, if it's been 10 years already.
No. I mean, since we've met each other, yeah, but not since we've been working together.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, it flies and it never stops. just keep looking forward. I spent too much time looking back. So we have a comic ourselves. We work pretty much in-house on it. It's when we're writing, we tend to be in the same room, and I do the art on it. The question I have is, in choosing artists and in working with them, are you like hand-holding? Is it like helicopter parenting, or do you leave a lot of onus onto the artists?
I think helicopter parenting an artist is one of the more stifling ways to have a collaboration. There is a time and place to have Alan Moore levels of description per panel, but I think the best working relationships are loose and like jazz almost, where like as writers, we do a panel by panel breakdown for the script. But we always tell Fernando Pinto, who is the artist on Mechaton, like, you're the artist, you know what looks best on a page, how the story flows best. You're going to know if we need to cut a panel or if we need to cut some dialogue. Like, we don't want to overcrowd the art. So, like, executive decision kind of falls to the artist at that point. Unless, and it's happened maybe one or two times, where there's something in the art that absolutely has to change for it to like make sense or something. Nando has final say on what that page looks like, and the collaboration with him back and forth has made this book way more energetic than it ever would have been from just our words on a page. Yeah,
for sure. We're, not to toot our horn or anything. We're pretty good writers. We're all right. I think we do a good job sort of conveying the purpose of every panel and like what it does for the story and what it does for the page without being too helicoptery. And yeah, most of the time that we get, you know, subtle perspective changes or page layout, changes, it's usually for the better. And yeah, we very much are open to and encourage that kind of ownership of the material. You know, we don't. At least I don't want to have a comic where it's literally just like me with an iron grip controlling every single thing. If for no other reason than because I'm gonna mess up at some point. No one's else to blame for it.
Those can be very stilted comics at the end of the day sometimes.
Kyle also would like to know, how do you navigate working from different states? So the four of us are cousins, and Joe's my longest.
You all look exactly the same. Just want to throw that out there.
Joe is my longest friend on the planet. I've known him for 30 something years now.
Yeah, it's gonna be almost 40 soon.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But we're all within driving distance when we have to get together to really write. Kyle would like to know what's your secret? What's your long distance relationship stuff here?
It helps being in the same time zone.
It does.
Yeah.
That's very nice. We used to live close enough to each other we could visit every now and then and brainstorm ideas and hash stuff out.
Weekend retreats.
Yeah. Most of the time those are really good for coming up with new ideas or busting through roadblocks, stuff that's come up that we can't really get around. Those are usually really bad for productive writing, at least for...
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
You don't wind up actually putting words on a page. You just wind up,
drinking too much.
And and joking around. And that's great. There's a time and place for that for sure. And so most of what we do can be done, honestly via text of just we work kind of separately on the scripts, text each other when we're done, and sort of give our notes as best we can. And when we need to, have a phone call and sort of hash things out that way, we do that. But yeah, it's something that we've just kind of learned and adapted to dealing with. And yeah, don't get me wrong, it's always great to see Dalton. I love going down and seeing my family and seeing Dalton. They all kind of live close to each other. And but yeah, professionally we found we've been able to make it work just kind of over the phone, texting each other. I text him way more than I text my wife. So read into that.
She lives with you,
True.
Yeah, no, we and we work in such a we work on a draft kind of basis where somebody will do a draft and then send it off to the other one. They'll do the second, and then the first person will do the third. It's a back and forth. And as great as it would be to have a studio to actually go to and see Wells and work, I would never get any work done. I have to have the solitude to actually breathe and make the script what I want it to be, and then when I send it off to Wells, I can have that distance from the script so that he can comfortably come back and tell me that what I want the script to be is garbage and we need to change everything. And same with when he sends it to me. We're the best editors for each other, so it works out really nicely that way.
So Justin and I do a lot of writing together. Usually it would be me on the keyboard, him walking over being like, what? No.
Yeah.
I can't work like that. Yeah. I'd be like, get out.
It'll be like,
it works.
No,
It works.
Yeah.
It works for us though, because I feel like if we're in the same room together, he's gonna understand my tone a bit better than if he writes it and I go back and I correct a bunch of shit and I send it to him. He's absolutely gonna flip out. Absolutely, he's just gonna be like,
little bitch.
"Fuck you, dude." And I'll be like, "No. You see, you're not understanding me."
So, yeah, no, that's like I said, there's a time and a place for a phone call. when I need to call it, or when I need to call Dalton and be like, hey, so, let's talk about some of these ideas, and I'm going to gently break the news to you, as opposed to getting a text that's like, stop it, get some help.
Yeah, the problem is serious when we actually have to have a phone call. It's like, okay, we got to figure this out. We have to talk to each other because this problem's too big to just trade notes on a Word document.
Mm-hmm.
Quick
We have a
question.
special guest.
Oh, who is the fan of Doctor Strangelove? Because I get that vibe from your issue titles.
It's me.
Love it. I love it.
I fucking love Doctor Strangelove.
It's great.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Mine too.
I'm glad your mind went there first, Joe, because mine went straight to, I wonder if they're fans of the show, because we've had some show titles, like how to properly seal your otter.
I believe that good comedy comes in the form of silent repeated panels, and overly long subtitles. That's the only way I know how to do it, and it's worked out so far.
I will be honest, when the very first issue was written all those ages ago, the subtitle was still super long. I think it's the same exact subtitle we have for issue 1.
The first issue is remarkably similar to the very first issue you wrote of it back in the day.
But I distinctly remember the overly long subtitle being inspired by pop punk bands and Panic at the Disco or
Fall Out Boy,
Romance, Fall Out Boy, all the Holy Trinity, and that's where my inspiration came from, and then Doctor Strangelove came later. But
love it. Gentlemen, fandoms. There's some stuff that's hinted at in the book, of course, but what do we sink our teeth into when we're not writing? What's the go-to, this is my Zen stuff?
Zen.
Or what's your religion? Is the way I look at it. I'm a Star Wars
Pastafarianism.
Yes.
For Dalton, it's for sure Grant Morrison era Superman and Batman and Swamp Thing.
Morrison. I mean, I'm a bread and butter kind of superhero guy, but I also love tokusatsu, like Ultraman and Godzilla.
Ooh.
Video games, Metroid, Castlevania. Those are my bag. The most zen I get is reading a Grant Morrison comic, though. Wells is correct.
In terms of fandoms, as much as it pains me because there's a stigma attached to it, I'm a massive Dark Souls fanboy.
For shame.
I'm not
the hardest game ever.
I'm not going to tell you to get good, but I do think it's a beautiful game, and it's one of my favorites of all time, and that's from Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro and Elden Ring, and not Dark Souls 2. I think it's just some of the best games ever made, and has some of the most interesting storytelling in any game, and I think it's worth cracking your teeth on. And you will, over and over again. But also, big Song of Ice and Fire fan, Game of Thrones.
All right, hold on. I got to interrupt you for a second. How do you feel about House of the Dragon?
I love it.
Do you? Great. I fucking... Well, look, it's good. Don't get me wrong. But you can't root for anybody.
Yeah. I love that. I love when characters are meaty and complex and difficult to root for. That's what I loved about season 4 of Game of Thrones. The fight between Brienne of Tarth and the Hound is one of the best moments in the show because you're just tearing your hair out. Who do I side with here? It's so Actually, another thing I'll go into, another sort of fandom that I've been reluctantly a part of is The Last of Us. I love that game, and I have opinions on that game that get me yelled at a lot, because I'm like, yeah, Joel Miller is the bad guy, and I love him. Like, I'm very, like, I empathize with him, I like being in his shoes, I love playing that game, but, like, he made bad, selfish decisions, and yeah, he's kind of the bad guy of the story.
You're not wrong.
It is one of the greatest moral dilemmas ever. Like, can you watch this person that you reluctantly attached yourself to get killed for the greater good?
Oh,
and apparently he couldn't.
It's heartbreaking, and it's extremely difficult, and I don't begrudge anyone. I don't begrudge him. I don't begrudge anyone for saying that they would do the same thing. But, like, you have to take with that, like, yeah, he's the villain of the story. And that's cool. That's interesting. I love that. But also, unironically, I'll root for Rhaenyra any day of the week, so.
She's fine, but, did she really need Daemon?
Yes.
No. Yeah. No.
Daemon is a fucking awesome character.
Oh, I love him as a character. Fucking douchebag.
Oh yeah,
but
that's what makes him great.
Yeah,
that's what makes him delicious.
She was the closest thing on that show to being like, yeah, I could get behind this person, and then she does shit, and you're like, nah. See, now I hate everybody again. All of them.
I think I disagree with Melisandre's take that an onion black with rot is a rot, or a half an onion half black with rot is a rotten onion. Like, no, you can take the good and the bad, and you should, because no one is all good and no one is all bad.
It's a valid point.
It's like what I was going to say. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then there you have the facts of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts of life.
Life facts here that you bring them up. We are from New Jersey, the uncrowned pizza capital of the world.
Uncrowned.
Yes, uncrowned.
Probably deservedly so. It's Jersey.
Turning off my webcam so you can't see.
Fair. Fair. Jersey's got a bad rap. It's fine, but the pizza is delicious.
Sure.
Wells, you come from the Chicagoland.
Yes.
So I'm sure that you are a defender of the Chicago style.
Plot twist, I am not. No, it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. All pizza's good pizza. But if you give me the choice, yeah, I'm probably going to take New York style.
Hey, my man. Dalton, I'd ask you, but do they have pizza where you're from? Like, is that a...
What's pizza? I've been confused this whole time.
It's like,
wait. Are those the frozen things at Walmart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Arkansas has really good pizza. It's just not unique in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. No. A lot of chains down here.
Yeah, that happens out there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Arkansas's full of chains, and desperately wants to pretend that it isn't.
Okay, chain restaurants across the board, except a couple of really good, like, Indian restaurants from, like, first generation Indian immigrants.
That's pretty damn good, man. Yeah, that's good.
Still some of the best I've ever had.
The holes in the wall here are fantastic holes in the wall, but you've really got to root for them.
Few and far between, yeah.
I never thought I'd hear someone say, you gotta try Arkansas shawarma.
Like I said, you'd be surprised.
Do you guys have any upcoming cons you're going to be at this year? Like in the near future?
I probably not at the Artist Alley, but I will be at C2E2 because it's more or less in my backyard.
Nice.
I'm on the wait list for the Artist Alley. I would love to go to the Artist Alley, but doesn't look like this year it's going to happen. Outside of that, we're taking them as they come. They seem to be fewer and further between than they were in the past, so not a ton planned for at the moment. Later in the year, we're trying to do Arkansas Comic Con. We're trying to do SpaCon in the Arkansas area where we're from. But yeah, nothing immediately planned.
Yeah. And there's some smaller ones in like Madison and Milwaukee.
Those are a little later in the year, though.
Yeah, those are later. So nothing immediate, but probably the closest quote unquote convention would be like our local shop's free comic book days. I'm sure we'll be set up there and
oh boy, will I be set
meet and greet. Mm-hmm.
So we gotta let everyone know to go to Kickstarter for Mechaton, right? Mechaton.
Mechaton, Volume 1.
Mechaton, Volume 1, all 5 issues, 108 pages with a cover gallery, and the option to have extra back matter.
Ooh.
Get that deluxe edition.
Absolutely. All sorts of stuff.
It's a super fun read. I recommend people check it out if you like that manga over-the-top anime craziness feel, because it's totally got that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we covered all the bases, unless there's anything you wanted to say on the way out the door.
I have 5 cats, and if you don't buy this book, you are taking food in your mouths. So I want you to think about that real hard before you choose not to get this copy of this book. I get more fan mail about this book than I'll say than any other book that we do, and I really want to continue making it. So, please check it out. I absolutely adore this story, and I think you will too.
It is very fun.
It's heartfelt and pleading at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's that perfect amount of stupid sincerity that is my sweet spot with storytelling.
Sure. Well, thank you for the time, guys.
Thanks
Thanks for having us. It's been fantastic.
We are happy to be here. Do you mind if we plug something real quick?
Go. Plug all your stuff.
Please. So, we don't do a ton of social media just because it's super draining, and lately it's been getting worse and worse.
It's gross.
So we have a Substack. It's called Comics, Cats, and Cocktails. You can find it under my name, Wells Thompson. There we post once a month a big newsletter, and we also do little updates. So if you want to see work in progress pages and what we're reading and cocktail recipes and pictures of cats and stuff, that's
upcoming projects. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is the best place to keep up with us, besides our own websites that are just ournames.com. So those are the best and easiest ways to keep up with what we're doing. And Mechaton Volume 1, Kickstarter, go, now!
Do it.
Do it now.
So if our listeners give a rat's ass about us, they go check it out now.
Right fucking now.
Why are you arguing?
Close the window and go to the other thing. Go.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do the thing.
Do it. Keyboard.
Okay.
Kyle,
We'll start the landing process. Can you?
can you, Kyle? No, I don't think he can.
No.
So I'm going to do it for Kyle.
Can you?
No, you're choppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great interview, you guys.
Well, thanks for having us. It's been fun.
Our spiel. Facebook.com/nerdities, @nerdities on Twitter, unfortunately. On Instagram @nerdities. We don't use that one. We'll have a TikTok that we probably won't use eventually either. Go to nerdities.com. Check out our stuff. While you're there, head over to nerdities.myspreadshop.com. Buy our cool-ass t-shirts, hoodies, baby onesies, socks, hats like Joe's rocking right now. Head over to sinfulcreationsbyjustin.com. That's CINNFUL creationsbyjustin.com and order some sweet treats from me. Why? Because I need money. And you need something in your stomach.
That's our biggest sponsor.
It is.
Check us out on youtube.com, youtube.com/nerdities. Beat the shit out of that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell to get notified when new content is coming, because a boatload of new content is coming, including the final installment of the Joe trilogy, some fun shorts, Nerd ETs, our cooking show, and a feature film.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.